And it wouldn't be a very interesting fight if he wasn't training his best and believed he was going to win. And it wouldn't be a very interesting fight unless he was on Twitter running his mouth and trying to self-hypnotize himself that he's going to win. And sitting there and talking and endlessly talking about how he's going to definitely win and he has nothing to worry about and I'm old and I'm coming back and all this crap. That's what makes the fight interesting. So I'm very glad he's doing that as opposed to saying nothing. It's good for the brand. It's good for the video when I win. It's good for everything. So I'm very, very excited for the event.
The contract was signed, but whispers behind the scenes suggested a brutal truth. This fight might be rigged before the first punch was even thrown. Accusations surfaced, alleging Andrew Tate, now the combat executive officer of Misfits, had strategically manipulated the terms. His opponent, Chase DeMoor, claimed everything from the weight limit, a suspiciously low 200 pounds for a heavyweight bout, to rehydration rules and even the very gloves fighters would wear, was crafted to favor Tate. This wasn't just a fight, it was an organizational power play, with one man seeming rewriting the rules of engagement. The implications were staggering, casting a long shadow over the entire event before it even began, raising immediate questions about fairness and integrity in a sport built on raw combat. DeMoor said he agreed to every single term, knowing they were stacked against him, simply because he wanted the fight badly enough to face the controversy head on.
After I knock you out, can I get a free membership to the real world?
I don't think you're going to knock me out, Chase. And truthfully, and I state this with respect for you, going in there believing you're going to knock me out easily is the biggest mistake you're ever going to make in life. I promise you that. I promise you. Don't think you're going to get in there and just knock me out easy like I'm a fucking idiot. Like I'm going to go in there and I've made some mistake and I've just signed a contract and haven't taken this seriously. I'm not a fucking idiot, Chase. You understand me? So I think you should take this a lot more seriously, have a little bit more respect for me. I'm now your boss. I respect you as an opponent. I respect you as an athlete. And don't be walking through life saying I'm going to knock Andrew out like it's nothing. Because it's not going to happen like you think it is.
The bombshell claims from Chase DeMoor regarding the fight contract immediately ignited a firestorm, with Andrew Tate recently installed as Misfits Combat Executive Officer, a role granting him significant influence over matchmaking and event planning. The timing of these allegations was explosive. Fans questioned if Tate's new position blurred ethical lines, potentially giving him an unfair advantage or shaping the fight's logistics to his benefit. DeMoor's accusations, from a restricted 200-pound weight cap that reclassified a heavyweight clash as cruiserweight to rehydration limits and preferred house gear gloves, seemed to gain credibility with Tate's powerful new title. This wasn't just speculation, it was a perceived conflict of interest that cast a shadow over the entire Misfits promotion, turning the fight into a battle for sporting integrity itself. The idea that a fighter could also dictate the terms from behind the scenes was unprecedented, fueling intense public debate about the fairness of what was supposed to be a straightforward contest.
You got it.
I think Andrew Tate hasn't fought in a long time, but I think his technique and background and his ability, like he's a good striker. I think that he beats Chase DeMoor.
Yeah, I think his sparring videos have showed me like his aggression level and that he's gonna go out there and enjoy being in the starlight of just the lights, and he's the CEO and like he's fighting. Yeah. I think he's gonna do good, and I'm not gonna lie, I've seen Chase DeMoor look absolutely horrible in the ring.
Amidst this swirling controversy, Tate himself made an absolutely wild, unshakable promise: Chase DeMoor would not survive the opening round. Tate was relentless, predicting a straight-up instant knockout, a bold statement designed to shatter all doubt. He genuinely believed this early finish would silence every single person questioning his return to combat sports, his ability to still compete at an elite level, or whether this was merely another elaborate publicity stunt. Tate staked his entire reputation on the idea that the fight wouldn't even make it past the first 3 minutes, putting immense pressure on himself to deliver. This wasn't just pre-fight bravado, it was a profound declaration of intent, a high-stakes gamble on his legacy. The audacious prediction amplified the spectacle, forcing fans to consider if Tate was supremely confident or dangerously overestimating his own prowess after a 5-year hiatus from sanctioned competition.
I've seen clips with your eyes, I've seen the pads, I've seen all of that. I just don't think you're a phenomenal enough athlete anymore to step in the ring with somebody like me.
Then why are you still nervous?
The gravity of Tate's prediction grew heavier, given his 5-year absence from sanctioned competition. His last official fight was a kickboxing match, a lifetime ago in the fast-paced world of combat sports. Normally, such a long layoff would see fighters ease back in, maybe with a tune-up bout against a less threatening opponent to shake off the ring rust, but not Tate. He plunged straight into the deep end, choosing the Misfits boxing platform for what he envisioned as a massive, dramatic comeback. This move was a calculated risk, a deliberate choice to prove he wasn't just stepping back but reclaiming his former glory. It immediately separated him from typical crossover fighters, signaling a serious intent rather than a casual exhibition. The decision to skip preparatory fights amplified the danger, raising the stakes exponentially for both his comeback and his bold first-round knockout prophecy.
I don't mean to cut you off, champ, but I am now seeing and hearing in the water, headed this way, is the top G, Andrew Tate.
Listen, the yacht can't fight for you either. Get over here, Tate. Bring your little ass.
I mean, champ, you have to know this is mind games. He's flexing on you right now. He's the top G. You're in his city. He's bringing a boat to the press conference, making you wait on him. I got to ask you, do you feel disrespected by any of this? You're the champ here.
That guy looks like Tarzan, fights like Jane. I ain't worried about him. He's using the boat to try to intimidate me, but listen, the boat's not in the ring with him. He's still got to get punched in the face.
You got to admit, though, it's a pretty nice boat.
Listen, I showed up in a 2004 Honda Civic. Doesn't matter. I'm still going to pack him in. That man's showing up on boats because this is his main event. He can win the entrances. He can win the money flex. He can win all that. This belt right here, he cannot win.
Hey, by the way, you can take a look behind you. There he is. What do you think of the fit?
Man, Zara must be treating that guy nice. Where'd he get that chain? Goodwill?
In stark contrast to Tate's long layoff, his opponent, Chase DeMoor, had been operating on an entirely different timeline and pace. As the reigning heavyweight champion within the Misfit scene, DeMoor wasn't sitting around waiting for opportunities. He was a relentless fighting machine, actively competing and staying razor sharp, having racked up an astonishing 6 fights over the last 12 months alone. Crucially, he wasn't just winning decisions. His most recent opponent didn't even make it out of the first round before DeMoor finished him with brutal efficiency. This intense activity and proven finishing power gave him undeniable momentum, painting a picture of a fighter in peak form. It highlighted a dramatic difference in preparation and recent competitive experience, adding another layer of intrigue to Tate's audacious first-round knockout claim against such an active and dangerous opponent.
What did you see when you looked across?
I saw a guy that bit off more than he can chew. I think he didn't realize the scope of what he was getting into. I've fought in Giants and Kells. I've fought in experienced kickboxers in Tang Tolman, and they've all ended the same. He has nothing that I've not seen before. In fact, he's actually probably the smallest guy I've fought. We don't look at size, we don't look at technique, we don't look at anything. The only thing I look at is, can he punch, can he take a punch? I've seen him quit in his fights, I've seen him get punched, I've seen him have eye problem, black eyes against guys like Fez Batista and Warren Spencer. Those guys aren't getting the job done. And I think that the guys that I train with, the guys that I spar with, the camp that I've had, I was so confident going into it that I knew I was going to win that fight as soon as they sent me the contract that he signed it. I could not believe it myself.
Tate has been
Despite his undeniable momentum and impressive recent record, DeMoor refused the quiet confidence route. Instead, he plunged headfirst into an all-out trash talk war, injecting immense energy and countless online theatrics into the entire fight buildup. For someone Tate often dismissed as merely a rich guy playing fighter, DeMoor made a whole lot of noise, expertly keeping himself front and center in the intensifying rivalry. This wasn't just casual banter, it was a strategic psychological offensive, ensuring Tate felt the constant pressure and attention from every angle. DeMoor leveraged social media, interviews, and public appearances to craft a narrative where he was the active, dangerous champion, challenging the returning legend at every turn. His relentless verbal assaults ensured the rivalry remained personal, fiery, and deeply engaging for the millions following every twist and turn online.
His girlfriend is literally in my DMs. This new generation of people don't understand the lines. Karma is real. Wishing genuine harm on people or insulting people's coaches or doing these terribly things.
Your coach is a badass.
You end up paying the price. And we're gonna see on the night.
Fraud.
I promise you, continue to disrespect me. Unfortunately for you, you're not gonna have a career after.
I'm the heavyweight champion. I do what I want. You do what I say.
The trash talk escalated sharply even before fight week, with DeMoor attempting to get under Tate's skin by suggesting hidden training injuries. This claim spread like wildfire among fans already dissecting every minute detail. The speculation gained significant traction because recent training footage showed Tate sporting a noticeable black eye from sparring sessions. This visual gave DeMoor's conjecture powerful legs, subtly making everyone wonder if Tate was hiding something from the public. However, Tate, a veteran of media scrutiny, completely brushed off the speculation, dismissing it as mere background noise and a typical distraction. He made it crystal clear he viewed himself as the one taking the genuine risk in this matchup, suggesting DeMoor's tactics were born from an expectation that Tate would fail. The black eye became a symbol either of Tate's vulnerability or his rigorous no-nonsense preparation.
My only question for you is, Andrew, is why did you want 6 rounds and not agree to the 10? Because you don't have the gas tank. Why did you want a weight clause? Because you're not big enough. You're not strong enough. Why do you want your venue, your city, your everything? Why are these the questions that nobody's asking you? We all know the answer to them. We just don't want to say it because you're surrounded by a bunch of yes men.
From Tate's perspective, he was staking a hard-earned, well-established reputation on the line. He viewed DeMoor as stepping into the biggest opportunity of his entire fighting career, a moment that could catapult him into another stratosphere of fame and recognition. Conversely, Tate saw DeMoor's attempts to portray him as old, worn down, or washed up as preemptive excuses from those already expecting him to lose. Tate interpreted the entire buildup as a massive pressure cooker, specifically designed to test whether he could still compete at a high level after years away from sanctioned competition. He seemed not just ready for this immense challenge, but genuinely eager for it. This framing positioned Tate as the ultimate gatekeeper, fighting not just an opponent but the collective doubt and skepticism surrounding his dramatic return. The mental warfare was as intense as any physical preparation.
When you're a fighter, you want to fight. So it doesn't have to make logical sense. It doesn't have to be something that
You're not a
you have
fighter.
to sit there and say, how much am I going to get paid? Is
You're
it
not a
worth
fighter.
it? Fighters want to fight. I've been fighting my whole life,
You're a victim.
and I'm excited to get back in there and do it again. It's all I've ever done.
Chase, you don't believe him. You don't believe that's why.
The only thing he's ever fought is his hairline, man. Like, he's not fought anybody tough. You were 4-3 in light heavyweight. What makes you think you can just hop in the heavyweight division and go fight the champ? You should have started with somebody easier, buddy. I'm not the one.
Why do you think I'm fighting you?
The rivalry reached a fever pitch at a chaotic press event in Dubai, where the atmosphere was thick with tension long before the fighters even stood nose to nose. Tate didn't just show up, he made a grand theatrical entrance, arriving deliberately late on a luxury boat while cameras captured every second. It was pure showmanship, designed to set an immediate, overwhelming tone. This dramatic arrival established the vibe for the entire event, where the two men traded relentless intents, postured aggressively, and got right in each other's faces without throwing a single punch. The palpable tension, crackling through the screen, highlighted the deeply personal nature of their conflict. It was clear this fight was about far more than just boxing. It was a battle for psychological dominance, and Tate's entrance was an opening salvo in that mental war, designed to assert his alpha status.
I am the guy that's coming to put you away for good.
We also like this. Although I am going to beat you, from the bottom of my heart, all bullshit aside, all bravado aside, even though you just threatened a man with 4 children with brain damage, I genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, hope you get up and you're perfectly good at it. That's what I hope.
I hope you wake up in a hospital.
Well, that's the difference in our characters, and we're going to see which one God rewards.
Well, we
DeMoor, however, refused to be intimidated by Tate's lavish entrance. When asked if he felt disrespected by the late arrival and luxury boat flex, he scoffed, declaring Tate looks like Tarzan, fights like Jane. DeMoor dismissed the theatrics, stating the boat wouldn't be in the ring with them, and Tate would still get punched in the face. He even highlighted his own humble arrival in a 2004 Honda Civic, contrasting it with Tate's opulent display. For DeMoor, Tate could win the entrances, win the money flex, and win all that, but the actual fight was a different story entirely. This defiant stance underscored his unwavering confidence, refusing to yield any psychological ground. DeMoor's sharp retort made it clear he saw through the spectacle, focusing solely on the brutal reality of the combat that awaited them inside the ring, adding another layer of personal animosity to an already charged atmosphere.
Andrew Tate is back. Back on Misfits, he's fighting.
He's the CEO apparently. It seems like they're trying to set something up with KSI in the future, so yeah, that's cool to see that.
You still call Tate? Do you still speak to him? I know you had a relationship earlier, I think it was like 2023, you were kind of hanging out with him.
It sounded a little gay.
No, not relationship, but like friendship. Sorry, friendship.
No, we were never friends. I mean, I knew him a little bit, but no, it is what it is. He's doing his thing. I'm doing my thing.
Does he beat Chase DeMoor?
I think he does crush him. I think it's an easy fight for him. I mean, I like Chase. I want Chase to do well, but overall, I don't think Andrew Tate would take a fight that he wouldn't be guaranteed almost to win.
During the face-off, one detail immediately jumped out, becoming an instant social media sensation: DeMoor's noticeable size advantage. He appeared significantly taller, broader, and more physically imposing than Tate, sparking widespread debate. Fans began questioning whether Tate had bitten off more than he could chew, agreeing to a fight against an opponent who clearly possessed a physical edge. This visual disparity became a huge talking point, fueling doubts about Tate's chances and adding another layer of uncertainty to his ambitious first-round knockout prediction. The perceived size difference, amplified by cameras and social media commentary, created a compelling narrative of a smaller, aging fighter taking on a larger, active champion. It was a dramatic visual confirmation of the challenge Tate faced, intensifying the anticipation for how he would overcome such a clear physical hurdle.
Mr. Moore?
Obviously. I mean, it's not going to even be close. I heard, I don't know if we can put this in there, but Chibu was fucking up Chase DeMoor in a spar, which, and that's crazy. And by the way, Chibu's an excellent fighter. Don't get it fucked up now, but that's fucking crazy. So, yeah, I mean, it's not going to be close. I mean, at all. Andrew's obviously going to finish him. And then hopefully we see Andrew fight KSI next. That's the one that everyone wants to see, for sure.
Be good. Would you go to that?
I'll pull up to that one.
You will come.
I'll go to that one. It'll probably be what? Dubai, probably?
Yeah.
I'll go to that. If they fight, I'll pull up to that for sure. That'd be a good one.
You went to Dubai to meet him before, didn't you?
I've been to Dubai. The first time. That's right. I was in Dubai a few years back, so I'll definitely pull back up again for sure. I would love to. Mam's invited me to this fight next month, but again, you know, we're not gonna, you know, I'm not gonna go to that one, but I'll definitely go to one for sure eventually.
Tate's longtime coach, Amir, quickly dismissed concerns about DeMoor's perceived size advantage. He explained that any height difference during the face-off could easily be attributed to footwear choices or momentary posture. Amir insisted that even a measurable physical difference would not be the determining factor once the bell rang, emphasizing that punching power stems from speed, timing, technique, and proper mechanics, not just bulk. He also calmly addressed the infamous black eye, stating it was nothing unusual in their camp, a common mark of intense high-level pad work and sparring. For Amir, the black eye wasn't a sign of weakness or injury, but rather a badge of honor, a small glimpse into the serious, no-nonsense preparation happening behind closed doors. This explanation aimed to demystify the public's anxieties, refocusing attention on Tate's undeniable skill and rigorous training regimen rather than superficial perceptions. Despite the controversies and the 5-year layoff, Tate's training camp had been anything but relaxed. He approached it with the intensity of someone needing to prove something monumental. At 39 years old, he leveraged his years of professional kickboxing experience to meticulously transition into boxing, leaving no stone unturned. Tate even relocated his entire training base from Romania to Dubai, using the change of scenery to immerse himself fully in preparation, eliminating all distractions. Regular updates from his camp showcased him in peak physical condition, muscular, disciplined, and moving with purpose. The now iconic black eye became almost symbolic, a visible reminder that this wasn't a celebrity exhibition. This was a true fight in his mind, and he was preparing like his entire legacy depended on it, because in many ways, it truly did. His dedication underscored the immense personal stakes involved. DeMoor's tactics escalated beyond conventional trash talk, veering into deeply personal territory. One of the biggest online explosions came from a viral post showing DeMoor with Bree Stern, an influencer publicly known to have past romantic ties to Tate. The photos, imbued with flirty, suggestive energy, were backed by alleged screenshots, hinting at her enjoyment of DeMoor's company. While nothing was explicitly confirmed, the message was crystal clear. DeMoor wanted Tate and the entire internet to see it. It was psychological warfare, plain and simple, designed to get under Tate's skin and exploit any perceived emotional vulnerability. The photos spread like wildfire, sparking immediate reactions from fans who instantly grasped the calculated intent behind the move. This deliberate personal jab added an unprecedented layer of emotional intensity to a rivalry already brimming with animosity, making the upcoming fight feel profoundly personal. Adding another layer of psychological intrigue, Sidekick Boxing, a brand that had supported Tate during his early pre-fame kickboxing career, became visibly involved with DeMoor. Tate had openly credited Sidekick for their crucial support during his ascent, acknowledging their loyalty when he was still building his name. So, when fans noticed Sidekick interacting with DeMoor's content and seemingly supporting his side of the rivalry during the build-up, the timing struck many as deeply ironic. This apparent shift in allegiance by a brand once closely associated with Tate intensified the perception of a betrayal. It wasn't just a corporate endorsement, it felt like a symbolic blow, another psychological angle in a fight already overflowing with tension, personal jabs, and intricate mind games. The implications were clear. Even long-standing loyalties seemed to crumble under the intense pressure of this high-stakes showdown. Despite every alleged disadvantage and contract stipulation DeMoor claimed was stacked against him, he agreed to every single term without argument. His rationale was remarkably simple. He wanted the fight. The chance to face Tate was so paramount, so deeply desired, that DeMoor was willing to accept conditions he felt were unfairly engineered. For him, the fight itself superseded all external circumstances and perceived manipulations. He had built his entire Misfits boxing reputation on entering bouts as the underdog, absorbing doubts, and then finishing opponents early when the lights came on. In his mind, this matchup was no different. He was convinced he could overcome whatever obstacles, contractual or otherwise, stood in his way. This unwavering resolve transformed his disadvantage into a narrative of ultimate challenge, making his potential victory even more monumental and shocking if he could pull it off against such stacked odds. The voices from Tate's inner circle echoed unwavering confidence, bordering on certainty. Sneeko, a frequent collaborator and close friend, insisted the fight would be completely one-sided, a mere formood. He argued that Tate rarely, if ever, accepted challenges unless he was fully confident that the circumstances were stacked in his favor, and he possessed the skills to win decisively. Sneeko made it clear he held no personal dislike for DeMoor, but his genuine belief was that Tate would handle him with startling ease, making the victory look almost routine. This perspective reinforced the idea that Tate was playing a calculated game, entering only battles he felt assured of conquering. Sneeko's dismissive tone about DeMoor's chances amplified the narrative of Tate's untouchable prowess, adding another layer of psychological pressure and certainty to the controversial buildup. Ben Ross, another figure close to Tate, amplified this confidence, but he pushed the narrative further. Ross emphasized that Tate's advantage wasn't solely physical or technical, it was profoundly psychological. He pointed to Tate's unwavering mindset, formidable discipline, sheer mental toughness, and extensive past combat experience as factors simply too significant to overlook or downplay. In Ross's view, DeMoor's recent activity, numerous fights, or online bravado couldn't possibly bridge the gap between himself and someone like Tate who had been battle-tested at the highest levels. This perspective painted Tate as a master of mental warfare, a fighter whose mind was as dangerous as his fists. It suggested that DeMoor was not just facing a skilled opponent, but an entire targe, unshakable mental fortress, making the challenge an even more daunting psychological Everest. The implications were clear. Tate's greatest weapon might be his mind. Amidst the escalating drama, a tantalizing future prospect began to emerge, a potential fight between Andrew Tate and KSI. Both Sneeko and Ben Ross explicitly mentioned this as the one everyone wants to see, hinting that Tate's Misfits return might be a strategic stepping stone. Ross even expressed a willingness to attend such an event, particularly if it attracted other prominent figures from the crossover boxing and influencer scenes. This speculation transformed the DeMoor fight into more than just a standalone event. It became a crucial narrative chapter, potentially setting the stage for an even grander spectacle. The idea of Tate facing KSI, a fellow titan of the influencer boxing world, immediately heightened the stakes. It suggested that Tate's comeback was part of a larger, more ambitious plan to reclaim his spot at the pinnacle of both combat sports and internet notoriety. The whispers of this dream match added a significant buzz to the already charged atmosphere. As the fight date drew relentlessly closer, Tate's motivation became crystal clear. He sought to prove, beyond any shadow of doubt, that he still possessed the skill, the toughness, the sharpness, and the killer instinct that defined his legendary kickboxing career and made him a legitimate champion. For Tate, this wasn't merely about securing another win. It was about definitively validating his dramatic return to the ring. He aimed to remind the entire world that he was not just talk, not just a figurehead, but a formidable fighter capable of performing at the highest level. Even after years away, his legacy, his public image, and his reputation as a formidable competitor were all on the line. Every punch, every movement, every second in the ring would be a declaration, a testament to his enduring prowess. This was a personal crusade, a demand for respect from critics and fans alike. On the other side of the ring, DeMoor's motivation was equally intense. He aimed to show the entire world that his undeniable momentum, his unshakable confidence, and his willingness to take risks could withstand the immense pressure of a global stage. Facing someone as polarizing and globally renowned as Andrew Tate, DeMoor envisioned a moment that would transcend mere victory. He sought to prove that his underdog energy, his relentless activity, and every ounce of self-belief he had cultivated could shock the world in a way nobody saw coming. This was his chance to dismantle a legend, to redefine his own career, and to cue the global spotlight. DeMoor's drive was to convert all the chaos, all the motivation, and all the perceived disadvantages into fuel for a monumental upset, proving that true fighting spirit can overcome even the most stacked odds and the most formidable of reputations. The hype surrounding this Dubai showdown swelled to a level far exceeding the Misfits boxing banner itself, with mind games intensifying daily, deeply personal jabs flying back and forth across social media, and serious questions about contract fairness still lingering ominously in the background. The event became a full-blown cultural phenomenon. This wasn't just another fight card, it was a psychological battle, a test of wills, and a clash of reputations played out on a global stage. The tension was palpable, a complex web of personal grudges, professional aspirations, and thinly veiled accusations. Every interaction, every statement, every social media post added fuel to an already raging fire. The entire spectacle transformed into an epic saga, drawing in millions who recognized that this bout transcended sport, becoming a captivating human drama of ambition, power, and raw, unfiltered conflict. Ultimately, what happens on December 20th will be the final arbiter. Will Tate's bold, brash prediction of a first-round knockout become reality, cementing his comeback as legendary and silencing every critic? Or will DeMoor, fueled by all the chaos, all the underdog motivation, and every ounce of momentum he's meticulously built, manage to shock the world in a way absolutely nobody know coming? Until that opening bell finally rings and the talking stops, both men remain locked in a psychological battle almost as fierce, almost as intense, and almost as brutal as the one waiting for them inside that very ring. The world waits to see which narrative will prevail, which fighter's will is stronger, and who will emerge victorious from a clash that has become far more than just a fight.